This story begins in the late 1800s in the dense jungles of Nepal. A female Bengal tiger was born in the deep forests. She was strong, intelligent, and a natural hunter. Like all tigers, she hunted deer, wild boar, and other animals to survive. For many years, she lived a normal life in the jungle. One day, during a hunt, something terrible happened. The tigress was injured. Her upper and lower canine teeth were badly broken, most likely by a gunshot fired by a hunter or during an attack on prey. Because of this injury, she could no longer hunt fast or powerful animals. Hunting became extremely painful for her. Due to hunger and pain, the tigress made a deadly decision. She attacked a human for the first time. Humans were much slower and easier to kill than wild animals. The injured tigress realized this quickly. After that, she started hunting humans regularly. Villagers had no weapons to stop her, and fear spread across the region. In Nepal, the tigress killed over 200 people. Entire villages were destroyed by fear. People stopped going to forests, fields, and even roads. The government tried to stop her, but failed. Finally, the Nepalese army decided to take action. They chased the tigress out of Nepal using soldiers, drums, fire, and noise. Instead of killing her, they pushed her toward the Indian border. This decision would later become a huge mistake. The tigress crossed into India, entering the forests of Kumaon, Uttarakhand, and this is where her legend truly began. After crossing the border, the tigress entered the Kumaon region of India, which is now in Uttarakhand. At first, people did not know about her past in Nepal. Villagers believed she was just another tiger, but very soon, something strange and terrifying started to happen. People began to disappear. Men, women, and even children were attacked while working in fields, collecting firewood, or walking on jungle paths. The tigress did not attack secretly like normal tigers. She attacked in daylight, sometimes in front of other people. Fear spread very fast. Villagers stopped going outside. Farms were abandoned. Schools were closed. Mothers were afraid to send their children even a few steps away from home. People started to believe the tigress was not a normal animal, but something evil or supernatural. Some villagers believed she was possessed by an evil spirit. Others believe she was a punishment from God. Because of these beliefs, many people were too afraid to fight her. The tigress became smarter with every attack. She learned human routines. She knew when people went to work and which paths they used. She followed villages silently and attacked when no one expected it. After killing, she would drag the body into the forest. By this time, the number of victims in India reached hundreds. The British Indian government tried to stop her. Hunters were sent. Rewards were announced. Soldiers fired guns into the forest. But every attempt failed. The tigress always escaped. She seemed to know when danger was coming. The situation became so bad that entire villages were empty. People left their homes and ran away to safer areas. The Kumaon region was slowly turning into a land of fear. By now, the total number of people killed by the tigress was believed to be over 400. The government realized this was not an ordinary problem. They needed someone special, someone who understood man-eaters, someone who was brave enough to face death. And that person was Jim Corbett. The British government of India knew they needed a very special hunter. That hunter was Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett was not an ordinary man. He was born in India and spent most of his life in the jungles. He understood animal behavior very well. Unlike other hunters, he respected wildlife and only killed animals when it was absolutely necessary. By this time, the Champawat tigress had killed more than 430 people, making her the deadliest tiger in history. Villagers were terrified. When Jim Corbett arrived in the Kumon region, he saw the fear with his own eyes. Entire villages were silent. Doors were locked. People whispered when they spoke about the tigress. Corbett did not rush. First, he listened to the villagers. He asked where attacks happened, at what time, and how the tigress behaved. He studied her attack patterns carefully. Soon, he discovered something very important. The tigress had broken teeth. Because of this injury, she could not hunt animals properly. This explained why she chose humans as prey. Corbett realized she was not evil. She was forced into this life by pain and hunger. Still, the danger was real. Corbett began tracking her movements. He followed footprints, broken branches, and signs of kills. Many times, he came very close to her, but she escaped every time. The tigress was extremely intelligent. She attacked villages near forests and rivers, then disappeared into the jungle before anyone could react. Even experienced hunters were afraid to face her. One day, Corbett received shocking news. The tigress had killed a young girl not far from a village. Her body was dragged into the forest. This attack changed everything. Corbett decided that this hunt must end now. He prepared his rifle and planned the final confrontation. The most dangerous hunt in history was about to begin. After the death of the young girl, the entire area was in shock. Jim Corbett knew there was no time left. He gathered villagers and asked them to help him track the tigress. Hundreds of people formed a long line and slowly moved through the forest, making noise to push the tigress in one direction. This was extremely dangerous. At any moment, the tigress could attack from the bushes. Suddenly, the tigress charged. She came out of the tall grass, fast and silent, moving straight toward Jim Corbett. For a few seconds, everything stopped. Corbett stayed calm. He raised his rifle and fired. The first shot hit the tigress, but it did not stop her. She kept coming. Corbett quickly fired a second shot. This time, the tigress fell to the ground. The most feared man-eater in history was finally dead. When villagers came closer, they could not believe their eyes. The terror that had controlled their lives for years was over. Corbett examined the body carefully. He found that the tigress's upper and lower canine teeth were broken and badly infected. This confirmed his belief that she became a man-eater because she could no longer hunt animals. The Champawat tigress had killed 436 people in total. This number was officially recorded. The forest became silent again. People slowly returned to their villages. Children went back to school. Farmers went back to their fields. Life began again, but the story did not end there. After the Champawat tigress was killed, Jim Corbett did something very unusual. He did not celebrate. Instead, he spoke with respect about the tigress. He told people that she was not born a killer. She became a man-eater because of human actions, most likely a hunter's bullet that broke her teeth. Corbett used this story to teach an important lesson. He explained that when humans damage nature, animals suffer, and when animals suffer, tragedy follows. The Champawat tigress was a victim of pain, hunger, and fear, just like the people she killed. Jim Corbett later wrote about this hunt in his famous book, Man-Eaters of Kumon. The Champawat tigress became one of the most well-known cases in wildlife history. Because of Corbett's work, people began to understand wildlife better. Instead of killing animals blindly, new ideas were born. Protect forests, respect animals, prevent human-wildlife conflict. Years later, a national park in India was named Jim Corbett National Park in his honor. This park became a symbol of wildlife conservation, not hunting. The story of the Champawat tigress is still remembered today because it is more than a horror story. It is a warning. It reminds us that animals are not monsters. Human mistakes can create disasters. Nature must be respected. The Champawat tigress remains the deadliest tiger in recorded history, with 436 human victims. But her story is also a lesson about responsibility, compassion, and balance between humans and nature. And that is the full legacy of the Champawat tigress.